Hey guys, I'm just going to go through a video with a new client that we had in today, who's also on my online program. So Mark was in today, and he had originally purchased my introductory program, which would have covered all the basic sort of movements, which he quickly would have had kind of fairly locked down from sort of some previous experience. And I started to use my online program, which gets a little bit more technical, but like a lot of the basics still remain the same, just providing a lot more variety. So I'm going to show you a couple of videos I took from the session, what I had to correct with them, and I'll do a voiceover of what we're correcting and why these are little problems and just how to fix it. And these are kind of common problems that happen with a lot of clients. And it's just, this is the artistry of actually doing some coaching and not buying some off the shelf, program that's like leg day, chest day, arm day. That's not what we're about. So even on my intro program, there's a full mobility check, there's how to check your calorie intake and your macros, and how to perform some fundamental movements really, really well also. So the videos I'm taking, one is him in a handstand, so kind of looking at his lines, and that's really important because it shows what his midline stability is like. Then I got him to do a partner drop, which is again kind of testing his connection into his legs, and you'll see some issues there I'll explain. The third part then is looking at his deadlift and some little faults that he was making there. And then the fourth part, he's working a little bit on rings because he has some home rings that he has set up in his home gym, and what he's kind of working on doing well and what he needs to change in those specific movements. They're just some of the things that we covered today. We also covered squatting, on making sure that he's breathing correctly on squatting, so he's not like taking this big breath when he's squatting and then everything down here is empty. He needs to be breathing into his belly should be moving out. And then when we were doing that, we put a belt on him to try and give him some sort of sensory feedback on what should be happening then when he was squatting, and it instantly made a huge difference for him. He's kind of coming from a place where he's had to work a lot on shoulder mobility as well, so today was kind of very revealing for him, and you'll be able to see where Mark's going to have to work a little bit more on his T-spine in his handstand then as well. So these are just movements that make it easy for me to spot where the issues tend to be, but they're just one movement. I could pick 4 or 5 different movements. They're still going to tell me the same thing. So everything is everything. Hope you enjoy and you kind of get a better sense of the type and style of coaching that I provide, and what a little bit more about how our online program operates as well then. Thanks and for watching, and continue on. So first of all, if we look at his handstand, it looks actually okay. It's kind of a straight up and down, but here's where the problems kind of start. Okay, so he's got pretty decent kind of upper body and lower body strength, but if we get him into a push-up position, and I'm going to hold onto his feet kind of like a wheelbarrow race. His toes are pointed, his hands are over his shoulders, which are pretty good. Head should be a little bit more up, but as I started to kind of drop his feet, it's his job to try and stay up. So as he's going to get more tired, what you'll start to see is this huge arch developing in his lower back, which you can start to see now. The elbows will start to bend, so he's losing all connection into his midline. You can see now how much he's dipping in that lower back, and the head is kind of craning, which again signifies he's just trying to bypass his abs the whole time. And this will happen in everything. It won't just happen in a handstand, it'll happen in a lot of other movements, pressing a pair of dumbbells overhead. So if he, let's see, we get him into kicking up into handstand now, which he'd never done before. This is one of his first times of doing it, and I'm going to spot him here at the hips. He's going to kick up, and again you'll see the exact same problems. So how we're going to fix this is getting him to work a lot on his hollow holds, a lot on toes pointed plank positions, because again, as you see, as he's getting tired now, the elbows will bend, the head is coming towards the wall there. Really bad position to be in, and it just means he'll just collapse every single time, because he's putting so much work on the shoulders, and he needs to lock those arms out and start to use his abs, his ass and his legs in those sort of positions. If we then move on to his deadlift, one of the major things he needed to work on here is that he was bending his arms to pull the bar off the floor. So you'll see from the front here now, I'll slow it down. He's in actually perfect setup position, hips are low, chest is high, but when he goes to pull, look, the setup position is great. Does this flex to the elbow and then pull. So that's going to put a lot of work into the lower back, which isn't such a bad thing at 70 kilos there, but it'll get pretty nasty once it gets a lot higher, so we have to work on that with some pauses. and some slow reps and tempo reps. He's working on muscle up transitions here, with the feet on the ground, into a dip, back into muscle up. That rep wasn't so bad. This rep, not so great. Nice turnout at the bottom, by the way, there. So he's going to make a pull, but he comes too early. Okay, and then that doesn't allow any kind of downwards pressure on the rings anytime. Sorry, by the way, for videoing all this in a kind of a portrait. I must remember to keep videoing this in landscape. Yeah, he needs to get his head back on those. So I'll remember to do that from now on. So I hope you kind of get a better idea as to how we kind of coach and why one-to-one training is so important. And Mark did absolutely fantastic in the session, took home loads, mainly trains at home, and you can too. All the best, guys.